Manchester United and Ruben Amorim have a huge goal-scoring problem, with Ahmad out with injury for the rest of the season, contributing to 46% of Manchester United's Premier League goals. Alejandro Garnacho not registering a goal or assist since November in the Premier League. Joshua Zirkzee has 3 Premier League goals so far this season. Rasmus Højlund, Manchester United's number 9, has 2 Premier League goals so far this season. And Bruno Fernandes, the talisman for Manchester United, being played in the deeper role under Ruben Amorim, is having his creative actions nullified. He's not getting into the final third as much as we would like. So where are the goals going to come from? Manchester United are still fighting for the Europa League, for a potential Champions League place. We're still fighting in the FA Cup at the chance of a trophy and a Europa League place. And in the Premier League, the last thing you want is being dragged into that relegation fight, and also saving some pride when it comes to being at the bottom of the Premier League. But what is Manchester United's and Ruben Amorim's goal-scoring solution with the injuries that we have? Well, luckily for Manchester United and their scouting network, we did scout and bring in a fantastic talent, and his name is Chido Obi. So who is Chido Obi, and why are Manchester United fans so excited about this centre-forward from the academy? Why are Manchester United so excited about this talent, about this prospect? And is he a player that Manchester United can really afford to pin their hopes on from now until the end of the season? Now, let me get this straight. I am not saying put all of the pressure on a 17-year-old centre-forward. He needs time to develop. He needs time to be nurtured into this team, and there shouldn't be much pressure put upon him. But when he's putting up the numbers he has in the academy, when he's got the physical presence that he has, and Manchester United are absolutely desperate for goals, it gets to a point where you think, could he really be any worse than what we're currently providing? And do you just have to let youth have a chance? Do you have to try and let his talent shine? Because he's absolutely killing it at academy level. Should you give him a chance in the Premier League, in Europe, to prove himself in this Manchester United team? Because often the best talents and first-team players that have come through the academy come through in times of injury crisis. They grab their opportunity in the most unusual circumstances. And can Chido Obi do this? So why did this player sign for Manchester United? Manchester United signed him as a 16-year-old centre-forward from Arsenal in October in 2024. He chose to sign for Manchester United with Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund both hunting him down for his signature. Why? Why did he decide to leave the Emirates? Why did he decide to leave Arsenal? Well, in the pursuit of a quicker route to the first team. He believes in himself, he believes in his ability, and Manchester United put together a project that showed him you will have a pathway to the first team. And even way back then when we signed the player, it was put out there that Manchester United did see him as a potential first team option, a third choice striker behind Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. And as I said, with Joshua Zirkzee on 3 goals so far this season, and head coach Ruben Amorim saying his best position is in that number 10 and he's not a typical number 9, does that give a pathway to Chido Obi? Rasmus Højlund, who's wearing the number 9 shirt for Manchester United, come under a lot of criticism for his overall gameplay and not scoring enough goals, not getting himself in the right positions. Does that give Chido Obi an opening? Well, let's go through some of his numbers because they are absolutely off the scale. And when you look at his physical presence for 17 years old, it really is an exciting talent. So let's look a little bit further into the player and why he's been called up to train with Manchester United's first team, and why he was the only academy player on the bench for Ruben Amorim that got minutes in that Tottenham Hotspur game. So Chido Obi, Danish striker. He is 17 years of age. Only just turned 17, he was 16 when we brought him in. His height is 6'3". Like I said, he's a physical monster. And at 17, he could even grow even further, making him even more physical and taller and more of a handful for centre-backs in the Premier League. His position is a centre-forward. He is right-footed, but he can also score goals on his left, both-footed that way. He can score goals with his right, score goals with his left, but he does prefer his right foot. And this is the crazy thing. And this is where you look at him and you think, he's got to be knocking on the door. He has scored 37 goals in 26 matches in his Premier League under-18s career. It's just absolutely off the scale, these numbers. Granted, there is a difference between the under-18s Premier League level and the Premier League in terms of the Premier League where you're going out and playing against centre-backs that are playing in the Premier League week in, week out, established senior players. There is a difference, but them numbers are absolutely fantastic, and you can only beat what's in front of you at the end of the day. He also scored a hat-trick very recently for Manchester United against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and if I'm not mistaken, he went viral when he was at Arsenal for scoring 10 goals in one game for Arsenal at academy level. Scouts that have watched Chido has said strengths are his finishing, his close control, acceleration, ball manipulation and composure. Despite his physicality and his strength and his height, he's excellent with the ball at his feet, and you do not want him running at you if you are a centre-back. You look at his weaknesses, maybe his hold-up play could use a little bit of work, but that's something that he's 17 years of age is always going to have to develop. The fact that Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund were both interested in signing this player shows the quality of this talent, because them teams have a track record of signing really exciting younger players and them exploding in the Bundesliga. Also, while Chido was at Arsenal, he got called up to train with the first team at 15 years of age, which shows how well thought of he was. Arsenal didn't want to lose the player, but like I said, Chido wanted to move on to Manchester United with the promise of game time and a better pathway to the first team. If I was going to pinpoint a Premier League player or a Premier League striker that I could compare Chido Obi to, and I'm not saying that he's anywhere near this level yet, but I'm just comparing player for player, the styles of play and the future of Chido and where he can get to, the level he can reach. I would say Alexander Isak from Newcastle is a strong comparison, just in terms of their physicality, their height, but also their movement. Isak is fantastic at turning with the ball, so is Chido. Isak has got great physicality, he's got great height to him, he can bully defenders, so can Chido, but he's also like a gazelle with the ball at his feet. He's a nightmare when he's running at you. He's a nightmare for centre-backs when he's running at them. He's got a quick turn of pace. This is exactly like Chido Obi playing at the youth level. It's a long way to go, but I would say their styles are very similar. And then of course we have to touch on one of Chido's biggest attributes, which is his physicality. 6'3" at 17 years of age. There is a reason why he's absolutely dominating the Premier League under-18s, and it's because he finds it easier against their centre-backs. His size makes it easy for him. How will he fare against Premier League level defenders? How will he fare against seasoned pros? And Ruben Amorim will be able to see that. He's been called up to first team training a few times now. He will get to see him against the likes of Harry Maguire, De Ligt, physical centre halves. He will be able to judge whether he is ready to go up and challenge against centre-backs in the Premier League. Rasmus Højlund hasn't had much joy doing it so far this season. Joshua Zirkzee has been the better of the two, but he's not providing the goal threat really either, and Ruben Amorim did say he was better as a 10. So can Chido Obi take that step up from going against under-18 centre-backs to physical Premier League defenders? But at 6'3" at 17, he's still got areas to develop, he's still got room to grow, he's super strong. It does look very good for him in terms of his physicality, and this might give him a route to the first team quicker because he can fare with the physicality of the Premier League. I mean, I'm just looking here now as well. Like, just the power that he possesses is fantastic. Whether he can do that in the Prem, time will tell. But I do feel like Ruben Amorim, giving him 3 minutes against Spurs, I think a player really does when he's coming into the first team. He needs at least 10 minutes. I think that was a little bit of an insult, and I think he does deserve to get more game time. I am not saying by any means we should put mass amounts of pressure on Chido Obi to be our goal scoring solution. And let me get this absolutely straight. Manchester United shouldn't have to be turning to a 17-year-old in the academy and rushing his development to get goals. But Manchester United abandoned the January transfer window in terms of getting a striking option in. We didn't even get an attacking player in. We backed out of the Tell deal and let our competitor in the Europa League, Tottenham Hotspur, go and get him. So we've got to get creative. Can Chido Obi come in and do more than what Rasmus Højlund's done or Joshua Zirkzee's doing? Can he come in and give some competition to these players and maybe elevate the standards within that first team? Because I'm just looking at the goals, and without Ahmad, it's looking very, very bleak. I mean, just another stat to bring into the conversation as we wrap up this show. Get your comments in down below. Should Chido Obi be getting an opportunity in this Manchester United team? And I'm not talking about 3 minutes at the end of a Spurs game. I'm talking about a good portion of game time to really sink his teeth into the first team and get an opportunity. Should he be given that opportunity by Ruben Amorim? Because if you just look at this as well, Manchester United have converted 12.24% of their big chances created in the Premier League this season. That is 6 out of 49. We need someone to come in and take their opportunity. Confidence, score goals. And often when younger players are coming into the first team, they don't have that fear. They'll go out there and they'll play football and they feel more free, as Ruben Amorim said it. Can Chido Obi come in and just get himself on the end of a cross, score that goal, get that momentum rolling, and who knows where the potential ends with this player. He has been looked at as a potential generational striking talent. I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but Manchester United have got a player in their academy that they could look towards in terms of a goal scorer from now until the end of the season. Let's see, the only one who can fully judge is Ruben Amorim, who will be having a close eye on him in training, and we'll see him day in, day out against the likes of the rest of our squad. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If he does get game time or if he doesn't, he's a super exciting talent that Manchester United can look for in their ranks, who is only going to get better. But look, everyone, thank you for watching. Joshua Zirkzee and Patrick Dorgu apparently have been a bit of a father figure, older brotherly figure to Chido as he's nestling into the first team. Let's see if Ruben Amorim will give him that opportunity. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.